kunja vihari. Gopijana vallabha girivaradhari. Gopijana vallabha girivaradhari. Yashodanandana vrajajana ranjana. Yashodanandana vrajajana ranjana. Yamuna tira vanacharya. Yamuna tira vanacharya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Gora Premanandi, Hari Haribo, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Very good, thank you. Text 22, yes. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Text 22. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nasta prayesha vadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki om namo bhagavate vasudevaya om namo bhagavate vasudevaya om namo bhagavate vasudevaya gṛheṣu kūṭa-dharmeṣu sakto grāmya-sukhecchayā karma-tantram vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ gṛheṣu kūṭa-dharmeṣu sakto grāmya-sukhecchayā karma-tantram vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ. Please chant. Karma-sukha-icchayā karma-vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ gṛheṣu kūṭa-dharmeṣu sakto-grāmya-sukha-icchayā karma-tantram vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ. Ladies, please. gṛheṣu kūṭa-dharmeṣu sakto-grāmya-sukha-icchayā karma-tantram vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ gṛheṣu kūṭa-dharmeṣu sakto-grāmya-sukha-icchayā karma-tantram vitanute veda-vāda-vipanna-dhīḥ. Translation word by word, please repeat. gṛheṣu in householder life, kūṭa-dharmeṣu of pretentious religiosity, saktaḥ being attracted, grāmya-sukha-icchayā by desire for material happiness, karma-tantram fruitive activities, vitanute he performs, veda-vāda by the explanations of the Vedas, vipanna-dhīḥ intelligence being lost. Translation. Pretentiously religious householder life in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of the Vedas robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to fruitive activities as all in all. Purport. Persons who identify with the bodily existence are attracted to the fruitive activities described in the Vedic literature. For example, in the Vedas it is said that one who observes the cāturmāsya vow will attain eternal happiness in the heavenly kingdom. In Bhagavad-gītā it is said that this flowery language of the Vedas mostly attracts persons who identify with the body. To them, such happiness as that of the heavenly kingdom is everything. They do not know that beyond that is the spiritual kingdom or kingdom of God, and they have no knowledge that one can go there. Thus, they are bereft of transcendental knowledge. Such persons are very careful in observing the rules and regulation of household life in order to be promoted in the next life to the moon or other heavenly planets. It is stated here that such persons are attached to grāmya-sukha, which means material happiness, without knowledge of eternal blissful spiritual life. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respect to obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, here we see that Nandishvara is criticizing Daksha, telling him just a materialistic enjoyer, bereft of all transcendental knowledge. Why? Because he was not able to recognize the greatness of Lord Shiva. He saw him from the bodily point of view. He saw Shiva as, this guy covered with ashes from crematorium, he's always dirty, And he married my daughter, and he didn't stand up to respect me when I arrived at the assembly of demigod. All demigods stood up, but him. So he became envious of Shiva, He could not understand how powerful Lord Shiva was, how great devotee he was. He only judged by the external appearance. And that's something dangerous in a spiritual life. We should be careful not to judge others by external appearance, For example, at the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, there was one great Vaishnava. His name was Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. I mean, any normal person who will see him will think that guy is crazy. Because he will go on not talking to anyone for 3-4 days, not eating anything for 3-4 days. And then he decide to eat, then he will cook. He had Gornitai deities, So he will travel with those deities. Some followers, they will follow him. He will spend 6 months in Vrindavan, 6 months in Mayapur, Navadvip, like that. And sometime he will fight with his deities. Like it happened one time, a thief came into his hut and stole the pots. He had only 2 pots, one for Nityananda, one for Lord Chaitanya. And he will only eat what he offered them. He will not eat anywhere else. That was his mode of worship. So one day, thieves came in and stole the both pots. So he spoke to his deity. You allowed them to enter and steal, so you are guilty also of this. You're also, siding with the thieves. So, okay, no problem. You're not eating, I'm also not eating. So, unless you return the pots, nothing is gonna eat here. After 2-3 days, the pot of Lord Nityananda was returned. The thief returned that pot. So he cooked only for Nityananda and offered only to Nityananda. And Lord Chaitanya was looking at the plate, No prasad. If you want to eat, bring back your pot. After a couple hours, the pot came back of Lord Chaitanya also. He said, you sided with thieves, you are guilty too. You allow them to come in and steal. That's nothing happened unless you allow it. Another time, he was with the devotees there, and he suddenly became angry. Took a stick and started threatening the deities. The devotees were frightened, They were, what's going on? And he told the devotees, you didn't hear what they told me? No, what they told you? They told me that I'm too old to go out, beg vegetables and fruit for them. That I should sit and only chant, and they will take care of that. If they dare to step out of this hut, I will break their legs with this stick. He was threatening them. Who could understand this move? He was in Vatsalya Bhava, fatherly love for Gaura-Nitai. Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went to visit him, to have darshan of him. And he saw him and he said, oh, a gopi is coming. Will Radharani will come behind her? He knew that Bhaktisiddhanta was a gopi, Manjari. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta will send his disciple to collect Mahaprasad, Maha from his plate, He said, don't associate too close with him, you will get confused. He's a pure devotee, no doubt. But don't come too close, you may get confused. The way he does things, he acts, is unusual, like that. Another unusual devotee at the time of Lord Chaitanya was Kalidas. Kalidas had the nice habit to serve prasad to the Vaishnavas. He loved that. He will collect money here and there and invite everyone to a big feast, and he will serve them personally. He invite all devotees, new devotee, advanced devotee, middle devotee. He invite everyone. And after they will leave, he will lick all the plates. They were plantain leaves. He will lick all the plates, to take remnant of everything. Doesn't matter if a new devotee or whatever, he doesn't care. So one day, he got a bag full of mangoes and went to give it to one householder Vaishnava, Mamu Thakur. And this Mamu Thakur was a great Vaishnava, but he was from a Shudra family. So he knocked on his door and told him, please accept this offering. No, you are a Brahman, I'm a Shudra, how can I accept service from you? I should serve you. No. You Vaishnava are above designation of caste and creed and all this. He started glorifying him, and Mamu Thakur glorified him back like that. And Kalidas told him, no, this mango are not for you. This is for offering to your Thakurji, your deity, your Krishna deity. You offered for, for that I accept. So Kalidas was hiding behind the tree outside the house. Mamu Thakur offered the mango to his deity, Krishna, and he sat along with his wife and ate the mangoes as a Mahaprasad. And when they finished, the wife took whatever was left to throw outside the house in a garbage can. Prabhupada, he told the servant, don't keep organic waste in the room, in the apartment. Has to come out, every day. Not keep it day after day. It's not clean. So, anyway. So, Kalidas was hiding when he saw that she threw the remnant of mango. He opened the garbage can and started sucking all the mangoes. Like that. From material point of view, this is not very clean, that. From the material point of view, you can't understand the activities of pure devotees. Not possible. Anyway, one day he accompanied Lord Chaitanya to the Jagannath temple. and Lord Chaitanya will go barefoot. So before entering the temple, one devotee will come and wash his feet so he can enter the temple, And Lord Chaitanya prohibited anyone to touch that water from his feet. Nobody dared to. But Kalidas, he jumped in and put his hand, drank one, twice, 3 times drank that water from the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, Charanamrit. And Lord Chaitanya smiled. He said, okay, Kalidas, you satisfy your heart desire 3 times. That's enough. No more than that. I mean, he will not allow anyone, but he allowed him. Why? Because he was pleased with this service attitude toward the Vaishnavas. And he didn't discriminate against any Vaishnava, old or new, advanced or no advanced. He just liked to serve all of them. So it's a very, very important lesson, Once Prabhupada was sitting with devotee, there was a feast, and they served nice preparations, and one of the preparations was gulab jam. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there, and next to him was one devotee, and Prabhupada was asking something to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and the devotee next to him took advantage of his distraction and stole his gulab jamun and ate them. When Tamal Krishna saw that, he became angry. He said, Prabhupada, can I punch him? Prabhupada said, no. He made a spiritual advancement. By stealing the Maha, he made spiritual advancement. I mean, Prabhupada chastised me also when he went to Venezuela. The day he gave me initiation, he gave me the name Jagachakshur Das, meaning the servant of the eye of the world. And he explained to the people the meaning of the name, and then he told, whatever you are, whatever you're doing, remember that God's sight is on you. But then he looked back at me, pointing his finger, and he said, you cannot hide from the eyes of God. He said like that, very dramatically. Everybody was looking. Maybe he did something wrong. And what I did wrong was, a few days before I entered the kitchen when nobody was there, very early morning, after Mangalarti, and I stole a burfi maha sweet, and I was hiding, eating it. Nobody's watching me. Prabhupada said, you cannot hide. So, anyway, so here, let's go back to the verse, study a little bit the philosophy. This word here, we see it very often in Prabhupada's book, fruitive activities. In English, nobody speaks like that. Anybody say fruitive activities? Nobody, isn't it? It's a word made up by Prabhupada. And fruitive means come from fruit, meaning you're expecting some material benefit out of your activities. That's what that does actually mean. No? And he's saying those who are materialistic householders, married people, and who knows the Vedas, they are attracted to the section of the Veda called karma-tantraṁ. That by following that, they will get in the next life elevation to heavenly planets, the moon or other heavenly planets. One may say, the moon is a heavenly planet, but we saw with the telescope is only craters there and dust, no vegetation, nothing. Prabhupada argued about that. He said, according to the Bhagavad-gītā, the moon rays give taste to the vegetables, increase the taste of vegetables. So how is that in the moon there are no vegetation? He gave that argument. Now you may say, okay, then why they can't see it? Why they can't see the demigod living in the moon? And the answer is, the demigod don't have a gross body like our body. They have a material body, but it's subtle. You can't see them with these eyes unless they allow it to be seen. That's one thing. And also Prabhupada said he doubted very much that they actually went to the moon. In 1969, everybody, yeah, they went to the moon. Prabhupada was the only person, I think, on the planet who said, no, they didn't go to the moon. Some devotees got confused, left the movement because he said that. No, we saw it on TV, it must be true. And, years later, the same people who walked in the NASA, they said it was all made up thing. It was a bluff, There was no stars in the sky. The flag was moving, no atmosphere supposedly. The flag was moving. Many other things. Even the manufacturer of the Sputnik, he said, they didn't have the potency to reach the moon. So how they did it? They asked one filmmaker, a very expert filmmaker, to do it. I don't remember his name now. But anyway, so Prabhupada said maybe they went to Rahu, maybe, which is very close to the moon. Anyway, it's a controversial thing. But why they want to go to heavenly planets? Because the Vedas glorify, that section, karma-kanda, glorified the heavenly planets. According to the Vedas, the denizens of heaven, they live 10,000 celestial years. One celestial year is 365 years on this planet. So according to this calculation, they live 3,600,000 and plus years. That's that. For them, it's like that. That's like eternal life. To live 3,600,000 years, that's like forever. But it's not forever. It's gonna end one day. Even Brahma has to die one day. Anyway, so they're attracted to that because there are much more, 1,000 times material pleasure in the heavenly planets. When Prabhupada visited Venezuela, in one morning walk in the park, he told us about the heavenly planet. He said, in one heavenly planet there is a mountain called Meru, and the peak of that mountain is made of pure gold. And in the top of that mountain grows mango trees. The size of each mango is the size of an elephant. And when each mango ripes up and fall from the mountain, it is for Jambunada, mango river. Imagine a mango river. And since the peak of the mountain is made of pure gold, both shores of that river, when they dry up by the sun and the wind, they become gold. And the denizens of heaven, they come with their wives on airplane, vimana, silent, they don't make noise, they don't pollute the atmosphere, nothing like that. They land there and they take this semi-solid gold and they make necklaces and bracelets to give their wives. They don't have to work hard to buy some jewelry. They have it free. They have it free there. And they have this airplane, they can go anywhere, even on different planets. So somebody hear this, wow, that's far out, I want to go there. Because they don't have information of the kingdom of God, which is eternal, blissful, happy life forever. That's forever. Not heavenly planet is not forever. After they finish their good karma, they have to come back to the earth planet again. Like this, what do you call this? Wheels? Ferris wheels. Sometime you're on the top, sometime in the middle, sometime down, going up and down. The same way, all living entities are wandering in this universe. Sometimes are up, sometimes down, sometimes they're a demigod, sometimes they are a beggar on the street, a worm in the stool, So, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Laltavish Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teaching to Rupa Goswami, said, there are innumerable living entities wandering throughout the whole universe, the creation of Brahma. And if some of them are fortunate, Bhagyavan means fortunate, because they don't want to be Bhagavan, they want to serve Krishna. So they are fortunate. By the mercy of Krishna and Guru, they get the seed of devotional service. The creeper of the creeper. Why did it say creeper, not a tree? Because creeper needs to take shelter on other tree to grow up, isn't it? So devotional service had to take shelter in Krishna lotus feet to grow up. That's the process. And in the Mahabharata it is given also some explanation about heavenly planets. People, they don't get old like we get old here, like our face become full of wrinkles and tooth falls, and we have to use eyeglasses, to see. And no, they don't experience this. There is no cancer there or anything like that. But how they know they are getting old, are gonna die soon? The Mahabharata explained that they have a garland which is always fresh, never gets dry. But as soon as start getting dry, that garland, they know, I'm getting old, I'm gonna die soon. So they get anxious because they become attached to the heavenly planets and heavenly enjoyments. But sooner or later, they have to come down again to this planet. So going up, coming down, wasting time, wasting eternal time. Human life is meant for permanent solutions to all problems. And Srila Prabhupada gave us the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, that this is the highest goal of life, to go back home, back to Godhead, by developing love for Him. And in that way, we don't have to return ever again to this miserable material existence. So this is the conclusion of the real knowledge of the Vedas. In one Srimad Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada was giving in Venezuela, he told us the Vedas are kalpataru, wish fulfilling trees. Any wish you have, any desire, it will be fulfilled, material or spiritual. And he said, there are many sciences in the Vedas, even material sciences, like astronomy, astrology, martial arts, music, so many things. He said there is one science in the Veda called Akash Patal, which means fly in the sky. And there are different ways to fly in the sky. One way is to manufacture a vimana, a flying machine. I hear that one German archaeologist, he went to India to find things, one place called Mohenjo-daro. Actually it's Mohandwara. Mohan is Krishna. So he found parchment 4,000 years old, and in that, he found that how to build the vimana and what oil you can use to make it fly, and all the structure, all the details were there in that. 4,000 years old. So they knew this science. They lost it with the time, but it's not something new. So Prabhupada said another way of flying is that you are being carried by pigeons from one place to another. I guess you must have a mystic power to become very light, like a feather, then they can carry you. Anyway, he said another way is by mantra. Prabhupada said, for example, if I chant certain mantra of the Vedas right now, this asana will float in mid-air. We were all waiting. Yes, Prabhupada, do it. Prabhupada didn't do it. We wanted to see some magic. Anyway, once Prabhupada was at the airport with many disciples, and a reporter asked him, Lord Jesus made many miracles. What miracles have you done? And Prabhupada told him, here is my miracle. pointing to the devotees. They were addicted to meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. They gave up all these things to serve God. Don't you think it's a miracle? And the men are, well, to tell the truth, yes, it is a miracle. To give up these things, you know. I mean, Prabhupada tells the story that one of his godbrother, Bon Maharaj, went to preach in England. His guru sent him by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in the 1930. And one man from the royal family, Duke, he approached him and said, "Oh, I like very much your philosophy. Can you initiate me as a Brahmana?" He said, "Yes, of course, but you have to follow this four regulative principles. No meat eating, intoxication." And the man said, "Impossible. Impossible." So for them it's like out of question. The first time I went to visit ISKCON temple in Las Vegas, I arrived in the evening. Devotee picked me from the airport. We entered Las Vegas, a big sign, neon sign, "Welcome to Las Vegas." And they have 4 pictures on that sign. One of them was a bottle of wine and a cup. The other one is a steak, steak, no? Steak, okay. The other one was a roulette, casino roulette. And the other one, half-naked girl dancing. And I told the devotee, look, all the things we don't do. The 4 regulative principles, you know. And for them to do these 4 things in one place, oh, that's paradise. That's why everybody wants to go to Las Vegas. But they know it's not good. Why? Because why they nickname Las Vegas Sin City? Because they know it is sinful. But still they can't help it but do it. Why? Because they have no better knowledge. They think this is what we know. So that's why Prabhupada emphasized so much to give people his books, because some people who read them get enlightened. Maybe not everyone will read them, but those who will read it and are a little sincere, they will acknowledge that. That is real knowledge. So thank you very much. If you have any comment, questions, corrections, please do. Yes, please give to Satchitananda, Prabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj. At the beginning of your presentation, you were talking about some devotees of Krishna whose character is difficult to understand.
Right.
We know that Krishna has millions of devotees, innumerable, and all of them are offered, they have a special relationship with Krishna, how they do their service.
Yes.
So the Vaishnavas, they love to hear those pastimes of them. But my question, or what would you say to those devotees who are new or who are not very familiar, in order for them not to lose faith or commit offenses when they hear, like the devotee who get the stick and wants to beat the deities?
Well, he didn't beat them, just threatened
them.
Yeah.
Or the devotee who's licking the place of the prasadam like that. They're not familiar with the culture of India, or the Vedic culture. And sometimes maybe, so what would be your suggestion to them? The
suggestion to them is open up your mind and try to understand the great pure devotees are above rules and regulations, That's it. They are in full love with Krishna. They are not under those rules, external rules. So we have to know. They are saints, great saints. So why they should adjust to your way of thinking? They have their own way of thinking, of seeing things. We can't imitate them, of course, like that. We follow this footstep, not imitate. Tell you one story about that. Once the Guru arrived in one temple, and the disciple told him, we have to perform one yajna this day, some special festivity, please can you do the yajna? Guru agreed, I will do the yajna. So many people came in the courtyard, of the temple, under the sky, and many people assembled. The Guru was getting ready to do the yajna. But there was one cat around, walking between people's legs and walking over the articles of the yajna. So the Guru said, grab this cat and tie him to the chair here, with a rope. So the devotee grabbed the cat and tied him to the chair so he will not disturb. Okay, he did the yajna, everything fine, great. A year later, the same yajna has to be performed, but the Guru was not in that temple, he was somewhere else. So the pujari said, I will do the yajna, okay? So, okay, bring everyone, invited everyone, everybody came. He want to start the yajna, but then he said, where is the cat? What cat? The cat, unless I tie up the cat to the chair, I can't start the yajna. So that's imitation, imitation, not understanding the substance, that taking things externally, like that.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for all these lectures. You're very inspiring.
Thank you.
And you help with having faith and chanting. Yesterday in your lecture last night, you talked about how you stopped eating meat because you had some mushrooms from cow dung, right?
Don't tell everyone, please.
Sorry.
That was before I was devotee. I wasn't devotee yet.
Sorry.
Okay.
But there's some cultures that actually see those mushrooms as sacred because they come from the cow dung.
Don't eat mushroom, please. They're hallucinogenic. They break the principles.
Okay.
Yeah, they break the principles. Sometimes they ask me about some magical, so-called magical mushrooms or other things that the herbs they take in the jungle and the Amazon, what is the name of that? Ayahuasca and all this thing. I will have a spiritual vision. Prabhupada told the devotees, nothing material can increase your spiritual life. Either herbal or chemical, nothing like that can help you spiritually. Is ignorance. It's ignorance. Your spiritual life is already there in you. Just chant Hare Krishna and everything will be revealed. You don't need any of these things. And that was the only time I ate the mushroom. For those who don't know what she's talking about, who were not last night there, I started practicing yoga, but I wasn't vegetarian yet. My friend was vegetarian. He was preaching to me, become vegetarian. I said, yes, any given day I will do it, for sure. Just give me a little time to adjust my mind, about it. So he told me one day, would you like to have a mystical experience? I said, yes, what we have to do? He said, well, a friend of mine told me that some mushroom grows from the cow dung, and if you eat them, you will have spiritual visions. I said, wow, I never heard about it. He said, me either. Let's try it. Okay, let's try it. So we went up the mountain where cows were grazing, and we found those mushrooms growing from the cow dung. So we collected few and ate them, and we didn't know we were hallucinogenic. We started hallucinating. I started to see the flowers brighter, the flowers bigger, all kind of crazy things, The wind blowing in slow motion, the tree were moving like in a movie. Anyway, my friend freaked out because he was starting seeing ghosts. He was terrified. And he ran into the mountain. I lost him there. So I said I have to go down before the sun sets. So I walked down the mountain and I saw a cow grazing there. I was waiting for transportation. And I went to the cow store, fondling the cow or caressing the cow, and the cow spoke to me. Cows don't speak. I was hallucinating. The cow said, You're touching me, you're showing some love, affection, but you're an hypocrite. You are a hard-hearted person because you keep eating me. Although I give you milk, yogurt, butter, even this mushroom you ate, I gave it to you. You still have no compassion for me. You keep eating me. When I hear that, I fell on my knee crying. Please, please forgive me. I promise I will never do it again. People were passing to their car. They were looking, choo, choo, choo. This guy went crazy. Anyway, I told the cow, please, please, I promise you never again I'm going to eat meat. Will you forgive me? She said, okay, I see you are sincere. I forgive you. But promise, never again, I promise. Then I hugged the cow, crying. That's how I became vegetarian. Anyway, but you don't need to eat mushroom to be, you're already vegetarian.
But
yes. Yeah, finish what you have to say.
But in a sense, it helped you realize you're wrong.
Well, I mean to say, my friend, he ghost hunted. It wasn't good for him.
Yeah.
And not everybody will have the same
Yeah.
experience, But we don't need that at all. Be assured of that. What we have, the knowledge, the Mahamantra, the Prasada, the Charanamrit, that's good enough for us. We don't need to add anything else. Okay?
Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for being here and giving us your knowledge. It's a little bit in the same of the reference she just, the question she asked. I've been a spiritual person all my life, not religious, even though I was born in Catholic home. But I've been spiritual, and the reason I'm here today with my daughter is because I took mushroom ceremony and I seen the deities. And I had never seen Krishna or heard Krishna in my life. So my question is, they say a lot of people make it, or Krishna lets you see the way to him in different ways. And our heart was always to be connecting one with the source. And that's the reason we're here today. I seen him in a ceremony and I told my daughter, forgive me, Lord Krishna, I seen some aliens, they were white with their hands up. I seen the deities. And then within that week, it was going to be her birthday, and I went and got her japas, and not by the store, a devotee, a very old devotee from here, with some yellow Crocs. I've been looking for her since I've been here. She asked me if I was Russian. I said no, but I have it in my bloodline. Long story short, I asked her, oh, so you do what my daughter is starting to do. I said, those beads, and she said, oh yeah, japas. And anyways, I said, where do you do it? And she told me, a temple, my temple. And then I said, where is that? She said, she gave me a pamphlet and said, you can go any day, but I would recommend you go Sunday. So when we show up here, we didn't come on Sunday. I think we came a day before. They opened the altar, and I told my daughter, those are the aliens I seen. So how do you explain mushrooms not being the way? Of course, not for people that are using it in a different intention, but it brought us to home. It brought us back home, and we are so in love.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you for sharing it. Yes, Krishna sometimes may use any means to attract you to him.
Yes.
But once you're attracted to him, you don't need this. You don't need these things anymore.
Yes, of course, and that's what I say. You know, it was the source to Krishna,
right?
Because he comes in different ways to everybody. A lot of people come one way or another, and you know, I just give. It's Krishna's medicine, anyways. I see it like medicine.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I agree with you. Very nice. Once is enough. Yeah. We have another question there.
There was one pastime of Tamal Krishna Goswami when he first started practicing Krishna consciousness, and one time he was, hearing about the philosophy, and he was maybe in New York, I think, or some big city, and he wanted to take like one final trip of like LSD, I think. So he took it, and then he was like super, he was having a trip around the city, and then everywhere he would look, he would saw like a couple together, and he would just smell like a strong, dog stool. Like everywhere he looked, he saw a couple, he saw these big buildings, he saw all the material enjoyment around him, and he would smell like this horrible smell, and he thought it was like Krishna, like giving him an indication, like this is not like a real reality, this is not, there's no real happiness there. But then after the trip, he thought that, wow, Krishna really like saved me, and Krishna did this and this. But he looked at the bottom of his shoe, he stepped in dog, stool. So that was like a way that Krishna, like, he thought he was having a real magical experience, but in reality he just stepped in dog poop. So that was the sign of Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna showed the real face of material energy. Anyway, when Prabhupada was preaching in America, it was very fashionable to take LSD. Everybody, all the young people were into it. But Prabhupada was preaching against it. So they challenged him. Okay, you say LSD is not spiritual, it's material. How do you know? Have you taken ever LSD? Prabhupada said, no, I didn't. But my disciple did. They can tell you. And the disciple said, yes, okay, you may take LSD, you may go high, but then you come down back again. But if you chant Hare Krishna, you stay high forever. No coming down. You don't need any more of these things. So the devotee printed an invitation to the temple stating, stay high forever, chant Hare Krishna. All right, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. See you next time, next year. Haribo. Haribo.